wants to talk to you. So Henry looked out and saw John Burns lying on the ground in front of his house. He said, John, what are you doing out there? He said, Henry, I've been shot. He said, well, how'd you get shot? He said, I was out fighting the rebels. He said, go home and tell my wife to come get me. So imagine, they said the bullets were flying around like angry bees. So Henry went running back into town. He found John Burns' wife and told her what happened. And she said something like this. She said, I told him not to go out there. I told him if he did, I wouldn't come get him. I said, that's all she said, that's all she did. She's not going to get him. So he survived his 3 wounds and became the local hero. And when Lincoln came in November, 4 months later, he wanted to meet Burns. So he's still on the pew they sat in the Presbyterian Church here on Baltimore Street. And I think he got a nice statue, too. I think he and his wife had said a few words when he got back home, don't you think? That was the second Battle of Gettysburg. I think that one lasted longer than 3 days. See, all these little stories see behind the monuments. But that's all the South expected, man. Just a bunch of local boys who just rush them aside and get supplies. So the South came in overconfident and caused them. So all of a sudden here in these woods, they ran smack into some of the Iron Brigade men from Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana. Had this big black felt hat that really set them apart from other men. So they came roaring in from left to right, pounced on the South and drove them down the hill and captured their general named Archer. But later on, when the South came back, they had this classic duel right here. I've never seen equal in the Civil War, where they stood here and shot at each other in 20 paces. 20 paces, like from the woods on the right to the woods on the left. So they just stood here, just like the Revolutionary War did, and blasted away at point-blank range until they destroyed each other literally. This one Southern company from North Carolina slowly pushed north up this hill, lost 90 out of 91 men. 90 out of 91. They said not one of them was captured, they were all shot. 90 out of 91 shot. The South had 14 flag bearers shot down and slowly drove the North up and out of these woods. And for the North from Michigan, they had 8 flag bearers shot on their side. So you can see it's a great privilege to carry the flag. But you don't last very long with that flag in those days. Imagine go through 5 or 6 battles to promote you. But they always had a color guard of 8 men to protect the flag there. All 8 got shot, what happened on both sides of this fight. They had a color company of 50 men. One of those guys was thrown away, got to pick up the flag going. More important to know which way we're going than one more guy shooting the gun. Now see, over here on the left is where General Reynolds was killed. He had just thrown in the Iron Brigade. You look back towards the Lutheran Seminary to our right. We'll see it up close later. And a bullet hit him right in the back of the head, dead before he hit the ring. But see, before he was hit, he did send word back to General Meade that we found him. We're going to try and hold on till we get here with the rest of the army. So look how somebody described this landscape to me beautifully. It's like a ruffled potato chip. Find your ridges. See that? Now we're going to set up first on your left, and then first and ridge. But knowing we get pushed off of that ridge, you can drop back to this ridge. Then they push off this roof, you fall back to the Seminary Ridge to our right. And then from that roof, you fall back to town to the Cemetery Ridge. And then fish up Modern Hills. So the modern military, they call that the defensive deck. Finding way for your vitals, they can always retreat to a better and better spot. And that's what they're doing throughout the day. Now in front of us, we're about to pass over the famous railroad cut. The first attack ahead of us is south of Lappin, where we're pushing everything back from left to right. And all of a sudden, the 6th Wisconsin part of the Iron Brigade came up and fired on the South. He sent him and jumped in this hole. Now, one of our guys, retired military, said, if you get in that hole, it'd be like trying to defend the bottom of the well. Once you're in there, you're helpless. No matter how many men you got, you're helpless. So they're going to charge over and trap them down the hole. They could have slaughtered them all, but they did not. Instead, they yelled down there, said, you better surrender, we're going to kill you, and they surrendered. So all kinds of acts of chivalry left this war. I've seen men written about on both sides got killed trying to save the other side's wounded. So all kinds of powerful stories like that throughout the park. Now, they had a curious story about this guy from the South. His name was a Mississippi man, Colonel, I think it was, I don't use his name very often. But story was, he got in front of his men. He said, if any man cannot stand the smell of black gunpowder, you step out right now, you don't have to go. You are a villain. You are a villain. You don't like gunpowder, step out, you don't have to go. So the man stepped out, he said, get back in line there, mister. He didn't mean it. Didn't think anybody take him up on it. So the man that stepped out of line we found was wounded, but Hero Miller was killed. All kinds of, twists to these stories. Now, we just turned onto what's called Buford Avenue. So notice as we travel around the park today, if you see something called a road, it was here. If you see something called an avenue, it was not here. Okay? So the avenue is built later, just right around to see the monument. And the name of the avenue is see after Northern General, not Southern General. So for the South, it's simply North Confederate, South Confederate, East Confederate, West Confederate. You see a name, Northern General, defended that part of the line. Okay? You see, you got the good ground view for pick the fight up. They can hide their horses here on the right, out of sight. One in every 4 men holding the horses. They can lie flat, just ready to fight. The South coming from our left has to come up a sizable hill to get you. And what they're doing is the South is coming, they're counting the Southern flags. Each regiment has a flag. Once we're about 400, get an idea is coming. You report it back to the infantry. It's how they take longer. If the few strongest ride away, there's no battle, no fight. Now, we've just gone through a heavy load of school groups we've had in the springtime, and we would often ask the students, now if you had to join the Army, if you had to join, would you rather be a foot soldier or a horse soldier? And usually pick the horse, and I point out some of these lines along here, like this one coming up on the right, said, you can let your horse, your cavalry, carry your blanket, your gun, all your stuff. The foot soldier has to carry all of it on his back. This one was really persistent, rather than foot soldier. He gave the best answer why I've heard in 41 years. He said, because they got here last. Oh, good answer. That's a thinker, isn't it? So if you read the battle, be the last one, the battle, not the first one, the battle. He's probably a major general by now, but never got his name. That was good. Never got famous. He's a thinker. But see, in the South, you're going to be in the cavalry, you have to have your own horse. If your horse gets killed, you have to get another one. If you run out of horses, they're going to put you in the infantry. See, and after a while you begin to realize that's almost a death sentence, where they just stood there and glanced at each other. You don't want to lose that last horse. In the North, you didn't have to worry. They'll get you another horse. So see, as time went on, the Northern cavalry got more and more bold. The Southern men got more and more timid. You don't want to run out of that last horse. Okay? And so by the time of Gettysburg, they're about an even par with each other. The North would continue to improve, and the Southern cavalry would continue to fade. And so it was a bad system the South had. Having to bring your own horse. And as time goes on, the value of the horse will be more expensive to find. And you have less and less money to pay for it. Now, we're going to try and get you out here. We're going to walk up here on the left a minute and take a look at this big monument called the Eternal Light Peace Memorial. And then we'll talk about a little bit about the cannons here and how these things work and how you tell the difference between a real one and a rough one.